All right, my math minions, here we go. Here's a Teacher Teach for lessons 16 and 17, because either you did not watch the videos or you didn't understand the material in the videos. So here we are. We've got our student edition notebook, and of course your video notes started on page S81. So I'm going to show you some notes for the Teacher Teach. So you're going to want to get a piece of paper that you can tape into here, or another notebook that you use just for math. And we're going to put that this is Module 2, Lesson 16, and Lesson 17. And this is the Teacher Teach. This is how you should always do your notes, so that you know what it's about and what this lesson, this is the Teacher Teach. And let's try to autofocus this and see if it comes in better. Not really so much. So anyway, Teacher Teach. So we're going to start with Lesson 16, which is even and odd numbers. Okay? Even and odd numbers. Now, as you can see over here, I've got a page open. This is from your notebook as well. It's page S85. Okay? And you've got the rules. This is just not really coming in good, is it? Anyway, I want you to write these rules down, okay? So, for addition, we've got a rule that says the sum of two even numbers is even. So that would be even plus even equals even. The second one says the sum of two odd numbers is even. Okay? The sum of two odd numbers is even. So that means odd plus odd equals even. And then the sum of an even number and an odd number is odd. Okay, so that would be odd plus even equals odd, or even plus odd equals odd. Either way it works. Okay, as you can see, I paused a little bit and I have fixed the focus. So let's move on to the multiplication rules. Okay, I want you to write this down as well. Multiplication. Remember, if I write it down, you write it down. So, multiplication. The product of two even numbers is even. Remember, product means the answer to a multiplication problem. The product of two even numbers is even. So even times even, whoops, equals even. And the next one, product of two odd numbers is odd. So odd times odd equals odd. And then the last rule for multiplication, the product of an even number and an odd number is even. So that means even times odd equals even. And it also means odd times even equals even. All right? So that is the basis of this lesson for number 16. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop over to these problems, which we don't use very often, but that's what the teacher teaches for. So it says, determine whether each sum or product is even or odd. Explain your reasoning. So in other words, don't solve it. Just tell me. So we're going to put practice here, because that's what this part is. And number 1 says 56,426. Love that. There we go. 426 plus 17,895. All right. So is it even or odd? Well, all we have to do is look at what's in the ones place. 6 is an even number, and 5 is an odd number. We're adding them, even plus odd. So we come up here for addition. Even plus odd equals odd. Odd because even plus odd equals odd. There we go. That's all there is to this lesson. All right, let's look at number 2. Number 2 says 317,362 times 129,324. Even or odd? Same thing. A 2 is even. A 4 is even. And we're multiplying, so we just come up here. The product of two even numbers. Even times even equals even. So our answer, even because even times even equals even. Okay? Here we go. 3. 10,481 plus 4,569. You solve this and then give your answer, and then you can see how the answer came out on my end. So I hope that you answered even. This is odd. This is odd. Odd plus odd equals even. Number 4. Number 4 says 32,457 times 12,781. All right, again, you answer, and then the video will continue, and you can check and see with me what it was. All right, so hopefully you answered odd, because odd times odd is odd. We have an odd number, 7, and an odd number, 1. All right, there's one more problem I want to do. And we'll flip my page here. And we've got number 5. Because you can't see that here, so I'm going to scroll it back up. Here we go. All right, so it says, show or explain why 12 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15 plus 16 results in an even sum. So 12 plus 13 plus 14 plus 15 plus 16 equals an even number. Why? That's what it wants to know. Why is that? So I want you to think this through, see if you can come up with the answer, and then I will show it to you after you put your answer in. Alrighty, so when you have a string of numbers like this, the best thing is to do it one at a time. Okay, if you remember your order of operations, we're down to just add and subtract, so we can go left to right. So what we're looking at is an even number plus an odd number. Even plus odd is odd. So now we have an odd number. We're going to add to that an even number. Odd plus even equals odd. Now we're going to add another odd number. So odd plus odd is even. And then our last number is even. So even plus even is even. And that is why. One step at a time. All right, we're going to move on to lesson 17. All right, so here we go. Lesson 17. So lesson 17 is looking at divisibility rules. All right? So you have already learned some divisibility rules. This one is specifically looking at 3 and 9, but they're going to review, or they already reviewed. If you watched the videos, you saw the review. So what I've got right here is a page out of your notebook that you would have written down had you watched the videos. You wrote down these divisibility rules. So I'm going to do them again with you. Here we go. So, and actually, I'm going to do this. Divisible by 2 if. Okay, I want you to write that down. A number is divisible by 2 if. Okay, so all you have to do is write down these rules and then use the rules as you are doing this. So a number is divisible by 2 if I'm going to put, I was trying to do the digit, but I'm going to put the number in the ones place is 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Right? In other words, an even number. Right? And that is all you have to look at to find out if something is divisible by 2. All right? All right. And so now we're going to look at 3. Okay? Divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So if I add the digit and that number I get is divisible by 3, then that big giant number is also divisible by 3. It's divisible by 4 if the last 2 digits make a number divisible by 4. Okay, and I'm going to be showing you something for each of these, so that's all we need to know. The last 2 digits make a number divisible by 4, then the whole big number is divisible by 4. Okay, now 5 is super easy. It's 5 if the number in the ones place is 0 or 5. Period. End of statement. If it ends in a 0 or a 5, then it is definitely divisible by 5. Now, they didn't have 6 on there, and I feel that 6 is an important one. Okay, so I'm adding it in there. You didn't have this. So you might want to make sure that you add this into your notes as well. A number is divisible by 6 if it is divisible by 2 and 3. If you can divide a number by 2 using that rule and by 3, then it's divisible by 6 automatically. All right? It's divisible by 8 if the last 3 digits make a number divisible by 8. Okay? I'm going to add in the 9 here. If it's divisible by 9 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. And then 10 is just as easy as 5. It's divisible by 10 if the last digit is 0. Those are your rules. It's that simple. If you have these memorized, and I truly mean that, if you memorize these, you're going to make your life so much easier as you go through school and life, because you're always going to be able to manipulate big giant numbers without thinking too much about it. Okay, so we're going to do some examples now. Here we go. Let's look at some problems here. And so for number 1, we have 26,341, and we want to know, is it divisible by, I'm just going to put all the numbers, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. So which one or ones can this number be divided by? So let's look at our rules. Our number 2 says to look at the ones digit. Well, if the number in the ones place is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, it's not, so no. The sum of the digits is divisible by 3, then the whole thing is divisible by 3. So 2 plus 6 is 8, plus 3 is 11, plus 4 is 15, 16. Can I divide 16 by 3? No. Now number 4 says if the last 2 digits make a number that can be divided by 4. 41. No. If it were 40, then yes, but no, not 41. 5, the rule says it has to end in 0 or 5. No. 6, the rule says you have to be able to divide it by 2 and 3. Well, they're both crossed off, so boom, no. 8 says you have to look at the last 3 digits. Can I divide this number by 8? Well, 8 goes into 34 4 times. That's 2, so that's 2 left over. 8 goes into 21, not evenly, so no, not 8. 9 says if the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. Well, we already know the sum of the digits is 16. Can I divide by 9? Not evenly. And then 10, the rule says if it ends in 0. Well, it does not. So none of these numbers, that number cannot be divided by any of them. Okay? So let's look at this. We've got 8,341 397. And I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10. 8,397. Well, looking at that digit, we can't have a 2. 8 plus 3 is 11, plus 9 is 20, plus 7 is 27. Can I divide 27 by 3? Yes, I can. 4. Can I divide 97 by 4? Not evenly. There'd be a remainder or a decimal. 5. Nope, the rule is there, and it's not a 5 or a 0. 6. Can I divide by both 2 and 3? No, so not 6. 8 says we look at 397. Well, 8 goes into 39 4 times. That's 32 with 7 left over. 8 goes into 77. Well, not evenly, so we cross that off. 9. The rule says the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. Well, 27, I can divide it by 9, so yes. And then it does not end in a 0, so it's not 10. So for this number, 8,397, we can divide by 3 and by 9. Okay, so we're going to have like 2 more problems in this video for you to solve and check. All right, so here we go. We're going to look at 424,380. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Tell me, which ones can I divide this by? All right, so you can see that your answers should have been 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. Hope you got that one right. Last one before you can go on to your math practice. We have 322,875. So for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, which ones can we divide by? All right, 3, 5, and 9. That's what you should have come up with, 3, 5, and 9. So go now into your math practice for 2.16, 2.17, and get her done!